This is 6 News at 6.
A wild day across mid-Michigan as strong storms roll through. Large hail and strong winds causing damage and knocking out power to thousands. Today's storms, our top story tonight at 6. Thank you for watching. I'm Sherry Jones.
And I'm Lauren Thompson. We have team coverage of the winds and the rain and the damage left behind.
We're going to start by checking in with our chief meteorologist, David Young.
He's here for you now from the Weather Center. What's the latest out there, David?
Things are beginning to improve for us as the severe threat is coming to an end. Here's a look at live StormTracker 6 Doppler radar. Strongest storms now in our easternmost counties, and those are slowly beginning to move away. No warnings in effect in the TV6 viewing area, one towards Toledo and one just north of Detroit, and that is it as far as the warnings go. The watch has been canceled for everyone except our easternmost counties, including Livingston, Washtenaw, and Lenawee counties. Those two will be canceled very, very soon. Good news there. Check out the damage reports from today. There were quite a few. We're talking about 98 reports of thunderstorm wind damage and just wind gusts, high winds, 27 of those, and just strong winds in general, 9 reports, a total of 136 separate reports of wind or wind damage associated with this particular storm system. Incredible. Areas hit hard like Bellevue, Fowler, and also around the Mason area. That's where we find Jim Geyer this afternoon. He's been monitoring the damage out there. Jim, what are you seeing this afternoon?
Well, in the Mason area right now, there have been a lot of tree damage. Branches have come down off of some very large trees. In fact, one big tree right here, right in the heart of Mason, had quite a bit of damage from the big branches that was just snapped halfway off this tree. The tree is old, a little over 100 years old, and the owner of this house, well, he had quite a bit to say about what happened.
Just sitting in the kitchen, all of a sudden, a boom went like that. And what was that? And I come out and I seen leaves in that picture when they ain't supposed to be there. Then I come out here and boy, half the tree's gone. But we're lucky, nobody got hurt and didn't do a heck of a lot of damage, but it did some.
Yeah, it was something all right. And later on tonight or tomorrow, the Mason crew, the city of Mason, is going to take this tree away. They're going to get it out of there, and then, of course, they'll have to fix the roof. But for now, everyone's okay. Just a lot of damage. Here for you in Mason, I'm Jim Geyer, 6 News.
Well, we've seen a lot of damage here across the Fowler area. Not only have we seen down power lines and down trees, but check out the scene behind me. Right now, we are just off of Hinman Road. And again, this is in Fowler. This was a 3-sided barn, and the open facing part of it that you're looking at, this was facing the south, which is where a lot of those really heavy winds were coming from. Right around 1 p.m., we had a severe thunderstorm rolling through, which came through with right around estimated to be about 60-mile-per-hour winds. And this is the kind of damage that we're seeing from it. Also on that barn in the background, you can see that the shingles and the roofing is kind of coming off. Looks like it's a metal roofing there, and we've been told that there's pieces of that kind of in the field behind here. And this isn't the only storm, or this isn't the only barn that we've seen collapse across the area. There was another barn that had collapsed in Fowler as well, and this was right off of Wright Road. You're probably seeing video of this right now. We talked to the homeowner at that point, and they said they were kind of hunkered down in the garage when this came through, and it knocked down their barn. And again, it was very loud, as you can imagine, as that barn had fallen down. And then also, again, power lines down all over across the city, specifically Forest Hill and Colony. There's a stretch of power lines down for about a 1/4 mile to a 1/2 mile, and that's all across the road. So as you can imagine, it is pretty hard to get into the city of Fowler because of all of the down trees and the down lines. Again, we've been in Fowler all afternoon covering some storm damage. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Emily. And just like those structures that she was showing us, this is another photo coming in from Fowler. You can see this roof line just almost kind of bent in half. Once that came down and the wind kind of knocked that over, you can see not this because of rotation, but again, just because of those damaging winds knocking this barn and kind of almost folding this roof line in half to where then we started to see that break a little bit more. Also, trees, they were definitely vulnerable, not only the dead ones, but also those that are in fairly good health. You can see this tree, or trees that is, this is in North Star in Gratiot County. Matthew snapped this, and you can see those trees just pushed over by the wind, bringing the roots up with them, the ground saturated from the recent rains that we have had, to where that allowed all those roots to just snap up out of the ground, and then we're left with a scene like this. Now, also, we didn't have to just deal with winds with this. We had some hail, about P2, even nickel-size hail is what we saw, but that freezing line fairly high in the atmosphere. But I really like this image because you can see just a couple of those lines. You can see the coating of that hail floating around in our storm clouds, but you can see that final coating didn't quite make it, and that's why we had those broken edges along that hailstone. And this photo was coming from Charlotte, and definitely a sight to see in Charlotte as they also saw some storms. Another photo, you can see more tree damage where this tree totally snapped in half from those damaging winds that we saw, and also another healthy tree. So again, all the trees were definitely going to be victims of this strong storms that we did have moving through. Our final photo coming in from Teresa. This is again in Fowler, where you can see these power lines just, and even this power pole snapped, bringing many of us without power this afternoon and even into the evening. Sherry actually has an update of where we sit as far as our power. Sherry?
Thank you, Diane.
Common sense.
Showers, thunderstorms, damaging winds. We've seen a little bit of everything across mid-Michigan today. Fortunately, the severe threat is now beginning to come to an end. Here's a look at the live StormTracker 6 Doppler radar. Now, the most significant storms are exiting our easternmost counties, but there still are a couple showers and isolated storms forming. It's just the atmosphere has already used so much of its energy, it's hard-pressed to generate more severe weather. So I think overall, while we may see a few more raindrops, a lightning strike, the chance you'll see damaging winds really going down. This is looking back to earlier today, a little after noontime, when the severe storm was rolling through the Fowler area. There it is right there, and I'm going to flip this up on its side. And when you look at the thunderstorm, it was basically lofting precipitation up really high. Updrafts and storms can be so strong, they literally take the rain and they shove it thousands of feet into the atmosphere, 20, 30,000 feet or more. It continues to do that until it reaches a point where it can't hold the precipitation anymore, and it all just suddenly falls out of the cloud. And when it does so, it comes down, hits the ground, spreads out, and you can get 50, 60, 70, 80 mile per hour winds. And we certainly saw some at least 60 mile per hour winds across portions of Clinton County doing all that damage today. That was the setup we saw repeated over and over across the area. Lightning tracker showing some lightning strikes to our east, and notice a couple showing up now to our west. So as I said, we could still see a thunderstorm today, but with the atmosphere expending so much energy, the odds you see additional severe weather extremely low. So we look at the Skyview network. Sunshine now in St. John's. Current temperature 71 degrees. Look at the rainfall total, 1.76 inches. It really came down today. 43 mile per hour wind gusts in St. John's, but that same cell that hit the Fowler area was just northwest of St. John's, so you didn't get the high winds. WLNS Tower Cam, our wind gust here at the station, 42 miles per hour. A little over an inch of rainfall. Temperature now in the mid-70s. That doesn't quite support big severe weather. Grand Ledge, you missed out on severe weather. You got some good rain, though. Half an inch of rain, 71 degrees. Now, check out the Jackson cam. Wind gust 62 miles per hour. That was really on the west side of Jackson in western Jackson County where the highest winds were from severe storms today. That's where the damage was. Downtown Jackson did all right, though. Half an inch of rain. Current temperature 66 degrees. In Hillsdale, we've got some sunshine, not much in the way of a wind gust, and a current temperature of 74. Precision Cast, our nasty line of storms continues to push east. Still the threat for a couple showers out there. Tomorrow, I think you'll notice in the morning hours, quite breezy. The humidity's really dropping. And then by the afternoon hours, maybe a stray shower, but temperatures back in the 70s. Here's tonight's forecast. Low temperature, 57 degrees, with showers and storms coming to an end. For our Thursday, a passing shower possible. Not a lot out there. Highs near 73 degrees. On the 6-day forecast, 70 on Friday. Saturday and Sunday look good. A little cooler, though. Highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s. The 6+6-day forecast, summer returns, highs in the 80s late next week and next weekend. Humidity as well, but not a lot of rain in that forecast, so maybe back to watering the grass as we head into next week.
Yeah, it's cooling off for sure.